Welcome back to the Red Booth Show. I'm here with writer Jake Marley, who is the winner of the Golden Pen Award for the Writers of the Future. And his story, The Acquisition?
Acquisition, yes.
Acquisition, was actually published. It was a first-time publishing deal in the Writers of the Future book from last year's awards.
Last year's awards, yeah,
That's right.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
And then actually there's going to be another Writers of the Future coming up.
Yeah.
I think it's April
8th. They're
April
having
8th.
the next event. Yeah, the cool part about the contest, multiple cool parts about the contest, but I think the part that's unexpected and exciting is not only do you get to be published and you get a piece of art and you get to meet all the judges.
Yeah.
Then you go to the fancy ceremony and
Yeah.
you get the awards and
Yeah.
everything. And
this is out of like thousands of submissions. Like,
yes,
this is not
thousands of submissions.
Yeah, you don't have any.
I feel like a lucky duck. But I think they do this big award ceremony. Anybody can come. That's the really excellent part. If you live in the area, you can come. If you live across the country, you can fly in. You can come. You can see this amazing award show. See all these people get published for the first time, who are so excited. And
Yeah.
a lot of them are so nervous. I was so nervous to be on the stage. I was just all jitters.
Did you have your speech prepared?
I did, and I kind of, did my thing. And my wife at the very last minute made me write a speech just in case I won the Golden Pen. But I was
Good job. She's smart. She's a smart wife.
She's the better half. So, but I think I was so excited to be part of everything. I'd been to the award ceremony a few years before, because when I started submitting, because I live close enough by that I can go. And then when I went to the first one, I told my father-in-law, who's an artist, that he needed to submit art for the illustrator half, and he ended up winning the Illustrators of the Future that next year. So I went back to that, and that's when I actually told the coordinating judge, the next time I come back, I'm going to be one of the authors autographing.
Whoa!
It took me 3 more years, but
You just manifested your destiny.
I did. I really did.
So can you tell us a little bit about the story?
Yeah, the story is about a man named Barlow who hunts kind of souls out in the wilderness. He finds them and he sells them, and he meets someone out in the desert who is kind of a ghost, but she also is something different, and it changes his whole life. And that's my story, Acquisition.
Wow, that's really cool. So when did you write that story?
I wrote that story, it would have been 2 years ago. So early 2016, I guess. And I kind of polished it up and I submitted it and kind of went, it's off to the fates. And that summer I was pretty much going, I've been doing this for 20 years. I don't think I'm going to get published. I might just stop, but it was the first story I wrote for myself instead of for the contest. And it was all of me in it and all of my heart in it. And when I found out I won, it was so validating. Like you said, it was, I had spent 20 years trying to find my voice, and all of a sudden it was here. And this has been such a tremendous gift that I've been given, and I feel like I just want to share it with everybody who I meet. I know a lot of people who want to be writers. I tell everybody about the contest.
Yeah.
Because the advantage is, if it's your first pro sale, the worst thing that'll happen is you become a professional and you're no longer able to submit to the contest. That's the worst case scenario, is you become a professional.
Right.
And
because they won't accept any authors who've already been published.
Right.
So the whole
there's
purpose
certain
is to
contents
get
rules,
people, that
so
are
you get
not
new voices.
new-
It's an incredible opportunity for new writers just starting out. It doesn't matter how old you are, where you come from. It doesn't, any walk of life, blue collar, white collar, whatever.
You know what's really cool is that I've heard this before a lot of times. Like, for example, you've been doing this for 20 years and you're almost maybe thinking about giving up, right?
Right, absolutely.
So, like you were mentioning,
right there.
and like a lot of times people who are doing these artistic type of fields will go through something like that where they're like, man, I've just been at this for so long, and they start having that kind of like, and then amazing things happen, like right at that last second. And that's how it seems to be.
It sure feels that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's, I kept setting myself up for these little mini goals, like I said, talking to the judge and saying, next time I come, I'm going to be there. I didn't know if I'd actually get there, but I was going to try.
And they would have never known it was his story.
Nope,
by the way.
they never would have.
No personal connection at all. It's all blind submissions.
Yep, and he didn't even know that I was the guy who did that until I had to tell him that I was the guy who did that when I was already there. So
super cool.
It is super cool. And the same thing with last time. I'm a big reader, a big fan of pop culture and movies and comics and everything. So I went to San Diego Comic-Con like 8 years back, and I said, I'm not going back until I'm a professional. And I had the opportunity last year to go and sign copies of my book at San Diego as a professional.
At the
And
Comic-Con.
Yes, at the big Comic-Con with thousands and thousands and thousands of people around and the line around the booth. And it was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. And I never could, 2 years ago, I never could have imagined that this is where my life would be today. So
wow.
I'm very stoked.
That's so awesome. So you started writing 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And what was it like? How did you get started with it?
I've always been a reader since I was a little guy, and I used to skulk around libraries and everything, and just any book that looked interesting, I'd pull it off the shelf. And so, in high school, I thought I found out, like from some Stephen King afterward or something, that these people, these writers who write these stories, they have real lives. They're like real people. They're not just stories. They're just manufactured. When I found out that was sorry.
I'm so sorry. We have to take a quick break. We'll hear the rest of
Woo!
your story in
Okay.
just a sec when we come back with The Red Booth Show. Hi, thanks for watching The Red Booth Show. You can keep watching our interview by clicking on the next segment here. And also, follow our channel by subscribing below. And don't forget to like our videos. Thanks for watching.